What's your name?
I'm Johnny Coffeen.
And what do you do?
Filmmaker. I teach at Cal State San Bernardino. Yeah.
Perfect.
But you could ask if you want me to do it again, or
No, you're totally fine.
All right. I could do it again. I was actually going to Cal State, and I was studying music. I wanted to make music for films because I really liked films my whole life, and music was my original thing I wanted to do. And then I saw No Country for Old Men, and that film had no score in it. And the film itself just completely blew me away. I was so, my emotions were orchestrated. I felt really moved by it. And that very day I said, that's it. I want to be a filmmaker. I don't want to make music for films. I want to be a filmmaker. So that was the moment. And then I transferred to the film classes at Cal State and never looked back. At this point, I would say I've made probably around 10 short films, roughly. I mean, I made some student films when I was at Cal State too, but I have an average about making a short film every year and then writing a feature film every year. Since the pandemic came along, I've slowed down with making short films, and I've been writing feature films. I wrote 3 films during the pandemic. Some of my first memories are just sitting in front of the TV watching a film. For example, I was talking about this recently. My favorite film when I was 3 years old was Beetlejuice, which is a little too advanced for a 3-year-old, but my parents told me I watched it every single day for a month at one point. And so I don't really know what it was. I guess it's just the way I am. It's just the way I am. I've addicted to them. I've watched probably a film a day for mainly my whole life. I mean, I don't know. Some people love cooking. I love films. I love watching them and making them. So, yeah. I mean, I don't know. It's kind of silly to say, but to me, it's the greatest art form because it's a mixture of so many other art forms into one. And I just think it's an incredible medium to give an audience an original experience, I mean, my favorite films are original experiences rather than standard stories. I love those films too, but my favorite films are the ones that just completely move me on a subconscious level where I don't even know why. Like Stanley Kubrick's 2001: A Space Odyssey, every David Lynch film, they're just original experiences. So I'm in love with that kind of thing. Yeah.
Reminuscamus nosem praesancte sancta Dei, sancte one absorbite, oro pro nobis, which bat Jesus, in nomine Patri et Filii et Spiritus Sancti, I absolve you of your sins. Go with God.
I guess what I want to impart is an experience, an original experience. If I want to, I can make a film where people feel emotional, they don't know why, or they feel scared and they don't know why. I want to affect people on a subconscious level. Every film I've made, I've looked back at it and kind of analyzed what I was saying without actually wanting to say it. I'm like, oh, I was kind of exploring this tragedy in my life, or this whatever, something that's happened to me. I've looked back and realized that's what I was saying. So it's a surprise to me as well. I've been noticing one of the things that commonly occurs is kind of afterlife scenarios. So I have made a film that's kind of set in a purgatorial setting, or like a hellish setting, kind of an afterlife scenario. So I kind of have found myself coming back to that kind of thing where it's more surreal experience of what it's like after you die, kind of a thing. That's maybe the most common theme about everything I've made, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. Every film I've made or written, except for 1 or 2, has been dealing with death in different ways. It could be fun, surreal ways, or tragic, melancholy ways. I think, yeah, I don't know. I'm a relatively happy person, but I like to write about death for some reason. I think my biggest fear for a lot of my life was dying or death or whatever, and then I think I've overcome it. Maybe because I've written about it a lot. I feel like I'm kind of over it. I'm more at peace with it. I feel like I've thought about it a lot, and I don't know. I feel like it's gonna be fine, personally.
Yeah.
So, yeah. If I had to give advice to a filmmaker, I would say keep going. Someone told me that in the past, and I think it's probably the most important advice I'd give any young filmmaker, because I've been alongside of people who I feel more talented than me, and they stopped, and I kept going. If you just keep going, you're gonna get there, but it's not gonna be an easy path. Like, it might take you 10 years roughly to get there. So if you're willing to be like poor and like, instead of going to parties, you stay at home and you edit films and, you know, stuff like that, it's gonna be roughly 10 years of pain, unless you like know someone in the business or you're born into it or you have a lot of money. It's going to be really hard. And I was told that, and I kept going, and I agree, it's very hard.
Yeah.
And I'm still not quite there yet, but I'm still going. So I would say keep going, you'll get there, but it won't be easy. That's my advice. Yeah.